Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my kitchen. Chef Darwin here. This is for the cooking class, May 16th, 2014. Slow roasted brisket. I am showing you via the videotape how to prep this fine hunk of culinary deliciousness. First of all, I've prepared a rub. It's this will be online later. It's chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, brown sugar, beef bouillon, and dried mustard. But I'll give you the recipe. I'm going to, as you can see, I have sheets of plastic wrap laid out for placement purposes. And now I'm going to sprinkle the rub right directly onto the plastic for a place to set the meat. Reason being, I'm going to try to get the meat not to stick to the plastic wrap. Also, it seasons the one side, although I will flip it over and do both sides. It seasons the side that is down. Okay, that should do it. And now, the meat of the hour. I'm coming, hang in there. Don't get excited. I'm coming right now. And there it is. Look at that beauty, huh? This is a flat cut of brisket. It's already been trimmed, and I pat it dry with some paper towels because you don't want it too wet. Then your rub turns more into a paste than a rub, and it won't get where you need it to go. It'll just sit there on the top and be sticky. That's no good. Nobody wants a sticky rub. Okay, so let me rinse my hands. Before I go grasping onto my custom rub jar there, which my lovely wife made for me. Check it. That's awesome. It's also known as redneck wine glasses. I hope no rednecks are offended. Anyway, get out my slicer, because what you want to do, this is my slicing knife, it's a beaut. You want to score the fat, fat cap. Score it as to where the rub will get down inside and flavor thoroughly. So, like so. You don't want to go too deep because you don't want to have the juice of the meat drain out. So about every inch, just get down in there as best you can. Try not to cut the meat, just go down to the meat as best you can, depending on how sharp your knife is. It might need some work right now. Every inch on the bias across the meat. Yeah, my knife definitely needs some work. It's probably should have honed it up before we went at this, but we're getting there. If it takes a couple of swipes, it takes a couple of swipes. It just means the video that you're watching is longer, that's all. We will adjust accordingly. But this is, again, this is for flavor penetration, if you will. Look at that. Now we're getting places. I guess the knife had to warm up or something, I'm not sure. Look at that, huh? That's how you do that. And then cross cut the other way. You don't want to move the meat too much, because then you'll disturb the plastic, and then where are you? Because the plastic that we have it sitting on is also going to be part of the wrap, because this will be sitting and just kind of marinating in this rub until it's time to place it in the oven, approximately 5 hours before you guys show up. Yeah, it's a slow cook. I can't do it while you're there because then you'd be spending the night. And I don't think anybody's bringing their PJs. You know what I'm saying. So there you have it. You can see the cross hatch pattern on here like this. It looks like, I don't know, a checkerboard. Sure, that works. Okay, and this will be one of the very few times you hear me use this word. Sprinkle this on liberally. Hopefully I don't have to say that word too often. If you find large chunks of brown sugar, just toss those off to the side. Those will go in. We could press those in a little bit later. But don't be afraid of the rub, man. Use it up. Again, I will give you the recipe for the rub along with the instructions on how to do this piece of meat. That should do it. Oh, there's also bay leaves in the rub. I'm sorry, 2 bay leaves. I use the dried ones so they grind up nicely. Okay, now, don't worry about being in the camera, Darwin. Chef, go ahead and get in there like you're giving it a massage. Don't be afraid of it. Work it in nicely. And you know, when you, just before you put it in the oven, you can go ahead and hit this again if you'd like. You don't have to. It's merely a suggestion, not a law. As you can see, it's all getting incorporated in there. I'm going to attempt to flip this bad boy over, if it in fact was a boy. We don't know that for sure. And as you can see, this side took really nicely to the rub that was on the plastic, which is awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more on there. Yes, I just tossed my custom jar without rinsing my hands, but this is television, ladies and gentlemen. I had to get it done. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this, and then again after you do this, because you don't want to cross-contaminate from anything that you might have been doing before and anything you're going to do after. Okay? Okay. There we go. Yahoo! Go ahead and dust off your hands a little bit. And a rinse. Might take a bit to get that off your hands. The red and the chili powder will stain you up real nice. Real purty like. Good hot water. Okay. Now let's tuck up the ends here. This is not enough plastic to cover it. It's just, it gives me a place to start. Because I want this to be wrapped good and tight. Hold all those flavors in there. And the tighter it is, the more it'll baste or marinate or whatever you want to call it, because it's neither. It's a rub that's kind of just soaking in. I guess that would be the best term for it, is soaking in. Get this piece placed. Get the cutter out so I can use the cutter. I love this. Very cool stuff. Okay. Plastic wrap to me is just the hardest substance on the planet to work with. I'd rather play with the mercury in a thermometer than plastic wrap. Alright, let's turn this over here. And I'm going to put another sheet down on the counter. Nice long one. Nice long one for y'all. That way we can try to get this going here. Get it wrapped up. Again, difficulty in plastic wrap. You would think with all the technology we have, we'd have another way to do this, but we don't, so this is what it is. Okay, now I'm going to turn it the other way. I hate working with plastic wrap. But don't be shy now, because when this seasoning is going anywhere, it's going to stay in there. Get it as tight as you can get it. Just continually wrap it. We'll cut this off at a later date when I go to cook this for y'all. Unfortunately, we are not going to have that much activity at this class. However, we're going to be doing some good eating. There'll be stuff to do, but not as much as in the past. There you have it. One brisket, scored, prepped, and rubbed, ready to go in the oven. I think I'll say it now because I might forget to say it later. This is going to be done in installments. We're actually Wednesday night doing this, prepping this, so it'll be good and flavorful by the time we get to Friday evening. Then Friday, I stick it in the oven at 350 degrees, uncovered, for 1 hour. And then at 300 degrees for 3 hours covered. But before you cover it, you want to take 1.5 cups of beef stock and add it to the pot or pan, depending on what you're using. So there's 1/2 inch of liquid in the bottom of the pan. And then just roast it covered. Braise it, I guess that would be, for 3 hours. And when it comes out, let it rest for a few minutes, like for about 30 minutes, so it's all good and juices are redistributed. Say that 9 times fast. No, don't. And then it'll fall apart. Okay. I'll see you then. Hi guys. You're back so soon. I didn't get a chance to do anything. But anyway, we are in the classroom, and I'm getting ready to toss the meat into the oven for its long and slow cooking process. We're going to give the pan a rinse, just to free it of any dust and whatnot. It's okay to have a little bit of moisture in there. You don't want too much because the meat will produce its own. The moisture will help it from sticking, is the theory. And I can use the word theory because my name is, in fact, Darwin. Unless, of course, you want to throw chef in front of it, but whatever. You remember this? I bet you do. Okay, we're going to keep it on the plastic in the sink as to not to soil either one of them, just for sanitary reasons. And we're going to unwrap it as best we can, and with as little mess as we can. Because we like to keep our workstation nice and tidy, don't we, Mrs. Elliott? All right, anyway, enough of the poking fun. Let me continue on. This is quite the puzzle I created. If you remember, in fact, just a few minutes ago, I was wrapping this thing. Of course, to you it was a few minutes ago. To me, it was 2 days ago. So, I am struggling to remember how this went. And there it is. What a beaut. All that flavor is down in there. And if you remember, there's the crosshatch pattern. Are you getting a good picture of that? Fairly close. Chunk of bay leaf sitting there. That looks beautiful. And into the pan it goes. You can feel free to get a close-up on that if you'd like to, sir. Into the pan it goes. It needs no further prep because we did all that again earlier. And what we'll do is we'll wait for the oven to come up to 350 degrees American, and we'll put it in for 1 hour uncovered. So hopefully the oven comes up fairly quickly because I'm running out of things to say. I know you're all like, yeah right, you're running out of things to say? Yes, I am running out of things to say. Come on with me. This is the fine oven we'll be using this evening. And as you can see, we're not up to temperature yet, so through the magic of video, the oven is up to temp. 350 degrees for 1 hour uncovered. And this little beauty will be on its way. Fire she blows. That's a big pot, especially when the top goes on. It'll be up to about yay here, so I've lowered all the shelves as you can see. And we'll be back to check on that in exactly 1:00. Start. See you in an hour. Hey, hey! It's been an hour. Remember I told you this thing had to come out for a few minutes? In an hour? It's been that hour. So, let's pull this out. Give you a gander. Huh? It is a thing of beauty. Now, whilst I have it out, don't need to turn my back on you there, but sometimes it happens. Close that, hit the 300 degrees now, okay? So that'll come up to speed. What we have to do in the interim, see, it's telling me it's in temperature already. What we're going to do is we're going to make a quick beef stock, because we need a beef stock in the bottom of this pan. Just beef bouillon and water is a beef stock. I want about 1.5 cups, so I'm going to make this nice and rich. 2 teaspoons of bouillon and some water. That's all there is to it. I prefer hot water. It dissolves it a little bit better. I'm estimating. I'm not measuring. Please don't call the powers that be, if you will. That would be wrong. And we want just enough in the bottom of this pan to be about 1/2 inch above the bottom. So as you can see, there is the bouillon, or the beef broth. It's right over the top. Use your spoon to measure your 1/2 inch. And there we go. Just that simple. Nice. Okay. We are returning it to the hot place, the oven. Let's get that open. I assume it is up to temperature because we left it at 350 and then turned it to 300 for 3 hours, kids. Wait.